Mame ma wache na me ma wo akwaba emra Adom TV so na asempa 94.7 anopayin. Ene ye ebobo so me ne da ya etoso miensa won fimpimienu ene aduonu mienu mu. Megidi si babia wo ne babia ne na bia ho ya anopayin. Na wotwi dwumadie ebra so biem ya betena se. Na wotwi mu no ensem ben ene di ahim a ye beka se mu odru pa ya ewosi esisu biem. Na yedi mu nkomo na ye nyina nya ho ntiase wo nsem ni bi mu eno ene Nnawotwi na ye behwe ensem ahodo edian meje so ene abena poko a ahwenne na se ye hwe ensem no a ensemfo mienu ene ye beka se ye bedi ho dwuma no pai de di kan eye Auditor General reporter odiaba eye 2021 de akowie chete 17.4 billion Ghana cedis ene sika eba no aban asoye ahodo wo mo de di dwuma akontabuo eni ho woni nkrata kire se sika no ye de ye we ebi ni ho saa asembisa ne de ye hye no enene se ekwan ben na ye fa so na Auditor General adi dwuma ne ye se wo mo nwumade so beba mfaso na enkoba sa fibia no ye de report no beba o sika se na ye ntumi amu ho akonta sika se ne ye ntumi amu ho akonta mema breakdown no efi 2017 edeba ebesi 2021 dia abetodwa yedimu enkomo no Auditor General report na mo ye nkita modi atoso mienu no wosembo ya mane se wo ba Ghana suapon akuku da mienu a ewo ha University of Ghana Legon na Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology no ewo Kumase na amane na kire se programs a wo mo ye ewo suapon yi mu no bebro ahansia 600 ni akire na womo accreditation krata matumi se omutumi di sa program no edi dwuma ewo musuapo mu no aespa enye dwuma biem as far back as 2010 na ebi expire ma ye misa ye ho se enti no suapo ahodo mienu no omo ya we na akoye blame game bebrena no na eblemu eye GTech Ghana Tertiary Education Council no ese womo na ase womo nioma ye no ankeka ne ho anwie peye ena amia babedu babi yedru no ye bebisa se enough reasons a suapon yi mienu nyina no ade bebo wo mo ho de entia ama wo mu ni accreditation ewo programs a wo run no asembisa kese san di ho ne se anye bia no se program no omu ni accreditation ana tumi no na ebre no ISPA no se mabesua ye political science ena fan 2010 ena ISPA ye ena mebesua de 2011 umma me sabodi nkrata no a asembisa ne sabodi krata no eye dwuma eye credible anase etesen wenum ne ensema hodo bi anopai ye bedi mu nkomo ede ama wo ye ne mpanyifo bi na ebehwe san komodie yi ma ye twa ye ho emra na me ma wo hunu wo mo a ye no ebedi dwuma no na se ye hwemudi a na opanyi ba ko a obomodin ko Education Watch Africa wono ewo honom Kofi Asare ene mene no ebedi nkomo eno achi so no Peter Anti eye executive director edma ifest na Emmanuel Wilson eye chief crusader eye Crusaders Against Corruption wo mo ne no ebedi nkomo anopai tawno a yentinsim na yenhwe Kofi Asare ewo ho yeno no emo nkomo na yenhwe education from programs a university offer ya wo mo ne ho accreditation Kofi Asare anopai Adom TV Asempa FM yo mo achi o Yada senior bra wanya mayen die di kan ebeto dwa se over 600 programs a universities mienu omo ofa ewo hodom no omo ni accreditation ya wo mo ede ISPA no eye wanwa kakra
sebisia aminsia osefo nyina na eye wanwa kakra isanse normally they are not yet animal we now yet free private universities and tertiary institutions one na efano universities kuku down say Lego and any KNUST there near Chibiano a bear one it's as in some yes you upon and get one in the show into being able to say omokram omenya size and until that Emma eye no
na say over 600 programs a ye ka ho asemi ye mfa no say period a ISPA no e de bedre ne obi akwakoye course no ye ma no certificate abodi nkrata eche sampa wage santete no e wo suapon bi atise period na ISPA na enya accredited no mepato abodi nkrata no eye adwuma ye credible ana
dodo na no re-accreditations. Re-accreditation is a accreditation amount for a 5-year period. In 5 years, no, it be so 2015. And our trial won't call for re-accreditation. And you know, no re-accreditations just a process. And there, a very, very difficult because I say, young grant to re-accreditation because a program I will run in the floor. In the other there. Ometina kona detect applying for more irregulatory tertiary space now. I must suggest on the market accreditation. Ometina ma retroactive accreditation. Say okay, yeah, accredited and but a quality a good time and old one expire. Internet possible. In fact, and that is actually normally what happens. You know. There's no cause for alarm for some programs now. Existing programs are or go through re-accreditation. The moment your program do on more a new cry or go through initial accreditation campuda. Initial accreditation campuda. Now Omakakoye re-accreditation issue. Omona no want to mean determine say a budget for an engine because on unya accreditation in the first place. It is and we come there, then that would be the challenge. Sir, my year we may have cracked, but me name the ABC. And then the instrument castle on a automatically. But as those programs now called re-accreditation, normally they will grant you a retroactive re-accreditation.
Na say you can re-accreditation na period ni ho a edema. So say bi wo ho no ma as far back as 2010. And na ESPA ye besi ne re-accreditation no emamu eno so no ye kan say
every 5 years there say initial accreditation every 5 years there say re-accreditation and say bia unya initial accreditation 2015 2020 also re-accreditation and say bia na on re-accreditation 2020 in that case no ka omo ye on accredited. And it's about 2 years I won't secure accreditation here, even though a re-accreditation. It's now both accreditation and re-accreditation. Now about a number of programs now or more accreditation issues. But so I'm seeing there are issues. Also, a school for say processing delay, but we didn't say only enough excuse because also when I go on 70 years on quality accreditation. The program we are running 70 years without accreditation. Which means a quite on one for community say buying institution to the out to me. But I say, want to be close here down, want to be because I am buying school. And to me, yes, there may be a reason. Maybe I apply in it. But don't apply criteria, you can't have a reason for not going for re-accreditation or seeking initial accreditation. And until I say Ghana National Education Commission, no, on one streamline on process, no, but at the same time, no, on one cafe, no, on one show any effort so on go to accreditation. For every reason, no, my court in this web, no, this should be dealt with in accordance with the law. Said the hour Monday private schools, or Monday public schools in this. I am education regulatory agencies, education regulatory bodies law, no, and my brother was on the 9 months for Subiamas.
Okay, the crackram na major no. Ye pesi ye share blame game no what can ho asem ene asotwe a was se kodema wom. Na asebisa no ne se URO penye ohwe nkita odi ho nsem so e wo KNUST e de to aban nanim sin kebe ya GTech dwumadie no omumpe ensane bi enka ho. Eno otin so no omuntremu mane nko ene ye nyamantam besem yensa e wo Ghana omo no mo be hwe se omo be yes accreditation ho adwuma na eno abosa so omususu se adwuma guji tech force won kan dodo ena masa ene ye wo ba bia ye woni edi sankomo yi woni ne ya adwen wo sa kwan no so eno
so be boa na ama process no streamline because it's been 2 years omunya ni padi bika ho time no be to be na for the assessment. I don't come to those. But apart from that, no. You should have infuse technology in the accreditation process because process is mainly manual. Oh, manual say na check. It is to me use technologically driven approaches are a fast track and as a streamline the process and manner more efficient. So they be spend 2 years doing what can be done in less than 2 months.
Mate, Kofi Asare, my na say any ebra when you my na shedden so why?
Okay.
Your call has been put.
Kofi Asare na woten nka no Education Watch Africa ono ne panya oda no wa maye enchimu kakra na emu nkomo no edroso esan se wo hwa enchimu ahodo abani nyina no ekeka bomu a na kwan bi so no suapon ahodo no ayemfomso se yede etu asomasi na obenten so ye wefum so no na wo chese osaso twi ekode ma wom mame ko twa me homra na okay entino mayenko pitanti ho na yene no so eni nkobo kitawodi ekro ya eba no enwomasuamu a na yene no enhwe Peter Martin
mejo so madam
ye da se no bre na me da no pam gidi se bibia da boko
ya me adum bibia ye boko
e de rade ase na as say emphasis on your educationist na wo beti say over 600 programs are universities omo running enye accredited and as omo koje re-accreditation no emmo munya satumi no wote ye no ye surprise and as yade a wonim dada
madam say manye surprise because medical no the report no answered number of the courses are here re-accreditation and a number of the courses new running in the system I wasn't call for accreditation as a normal starting. I see a distinction between these two because the problem ever. So course be error there's a investing error and course be and normally no as number starting also call for accreditation. In some accreditation, then they are able to run these courses. Accreditation in period last year, I saw a driver's license. So after maybe I think 2 years, we are also renewal driver's license. So after 5 years, there's a program we submitted for re-accreditation. Now the problem now, that period, it takes time. Answer now when you're re-accreditation. Now once 5 years there last, by that time now what as students almost hear that course. So you submit your documents again for re-accreditation. Now students are still on the program. No, how you handle it is a little bit technical. And mostly, you will see say universities will not ask the students to go home and then wait for an re-accreditation to be done before they continue the program. They will keep running, hoping say the institution now are more to re-accredit the program or ever accredit. Not to say at 12% year. And for me, and I said on several platforms, for me, re-accreditation of programs is not any problem. So far as the program has been accredited, now I go through re-accreditation process now. If the program is being run, I don't think it's a big problem because Sewokasa will stop it, the run of the program in between the mess and after the problem will be creating bigger than even what Professor will solve. The problem is with programs that any accreditation at all universities run, and I think that is where the bigger problem is. And in that case, I think inappropriate. They would do that because technically you are supposed to wait for your program to be accredited, and then you would have the opportunity to advertise, enroll students on it, and then start running it.
And komodi ba ye no, ekwakoye empreto so, we preto ne yonko so na we aprato ne yonko so. Nti akoye JTech na universities yi. Obi bisa se die na ebema asikwan se JTech for be yo madwuma na ebra no se mfie no bia bia omo be apply application na bedru no be yeso adwuma ntem no mo nsa ka wo mo accreditation documents delay no sha ehine free.
Oh, Obia nim accreditation process na bia per chance no working with an institution or more accreditation will tell you say the process no one cumbersome who's a mechanic tin enye ade that form. Again, GTEC surface nam friend National Accreditation Board ne GTEC almost said that need staff for almost hear these things. Consultants normal form, so they go to the universities and other professionals. Now, almost selecting the normal, almost check the documents now was submitted for accreditation, and then the same team will now move to the university and after the institution, to check NEMA more documents, and they want to see it themselves. So they want to look at your resources, your offices, your staff. Your library and all those things are more indicative or documents someone. Then after that one, they go back and then put a report together and then recommend say you are giving the accreditation or not. So you see that the process is very cumbersome. And now because they are not using their staff, say me over me consultant, say me accredited MA1. Because maybe I'm missing my juma me and I'm here part time, a bit take time kakra. So normally it takes a longer period to get accreditation, and that's why I suspect when it comes to reaccreditation now, the universities don't wait for them for their programs to be reaccredited as an almost to us running because it is foreseen. Who check it, you are supposed to apply for reaccreditation a year before it elapses. So it is foreseen when you apply. It will take a longer period of time, and it's simply because of the processes now. Make sure when say they have a core staff, and then most of those who work on the accreditation documents, are those who are seen as consultants or more investors. Again, another thing is why we seem not to really take notice of NSL in the university system, and this I'm talking for the public universities. In the public university system, they have what we call the academic board. The academic board always sits on every program that is designed by the various departments. It's almost who designed program it gets to the university's academic board. Some of these people who sit on the academic board are people who work for the GTEC and the National Accreditation Board. They are people with experience over the years on how accreditation process and other things are supposed to be like and how your program is supposed to look like. And see, sometimes when the university academic board action program is normal, this program is okay. And then the document leaves the university. There's a temptation that the department might or the institution might want to start running the program, although it is not legal. They do that because they feel that the people, the academic board, so far as approve now program no elevate the institution echo the external body media, it is likely to pass. And so these are the dynamics of the situation. And I think that for me, as I've said from the beginning of the if it is a reaccreditation of a programmer, a big issue for me. If it is new programmer, that is where the problem is, because for a new program, you would definitely need to get approval from GTEC.
Na yen share DSC no so be beka say adidem kakra ewo universities no wo mu dibia ene eja animonyama ekita wo mo no obeka say eswate kakra sansa wo hwe de be na ka ebu no ma be hu survey tumi ba yeso University of Ghana na se KNUST eba no Africa o mo to so sei ni ade na Auditor General Support ebeka sa asem wo ya ye fa no sa keke se enhyeda enye ade ye hu bia sa because no more accreditation no dada.
Yeah, that is because it's a what process na say that is how you talk, and that is why I said for me until I make me dear what the process is na say I know any inform me how you would talk about some of these things. So
but you jitu say identity
hello
you jitu say identity of image kakra.
No, yeah, it's you see the way that the thing has come up, no, and now until I make say the way that the thing has come up, then Emma or image, because not everybody who pick the news. You go to social media, you see that it has been attending to teasing of various institutions. Not everybody who pick the news understand the processes and understand what goes into it. It definitely, in the minds of certain people, it might dent the image, especially when the report did not state this number of programs. Because if you look at the report, you see that it tells you that about 190 programs have been submitted waiting for reaccreditation. So the question you ask yourself is, are we suggesting those programs now universities are not submitting now any more fault GTech and working on are we expecting the university to stop running those programs and wait till the programs have been reaccredited as normal running? And these are questions we need to ask. Is that what the thinking should be? Because you should note, if you say that a program has elapsed its accreditation period and needs reaccreditation, not some submitted documents, not through no fault of the universities, the documents have not been worked on. Over 190 programs have not been worked on. Are we saying the university should stop running those programs and wait till the programs have been accredited as normal to us? Remember, once you are going through that transition period of reaccreditation, you will still have students on the program. Nippano by level 100, not program accredited. By the time we do level 300, program accreditation high last. Are you saying you should ask the students who have gone through the program to level 300 to go home and wait for an institution, GTech, to accredit the program, which we don't normally know, which we know that normally takes a year or more? Back to the university. So you see the dynamics and the challenging, practical challenges that are associated with reaccreditation. And that's what I'm saying is that it's not a big issue for anybody in academia who understand these processes. But those who do not understand might think a bigger challenge. The problem, as I said earlier on, is with programs into national accreditation, into GTech, institutions. That is what, for me, is problematic. But if there's a program running already, I don't think the way to address it is something that should be a worry to people who really understand this. Okay.
It's going forward, solution near the GTech universities, apply process near canvas or maybe means that after the solution for the long term.
Well, I think that for reaccreditation, the process should be so smooth. I think it should not even take a month for them, because the program, you have already looked at the program. Just say you want new things to be added because of changing dynamics of our society and to address the global knowledge space as assistant woman. Indeed, the reaccreditation program process should be streamlined. It should be like 1 or 2 months. Again, for new programs, I think there should be what we call a provisional accreditation. So when they submit, there should be a preliminary analysis of the document, to indicate that this program is something that can be run. Then immediately, you issue a provisional accreditation to the institution so that they can start running. Yeah. Then you take your time to look through. So it's all about streamlining the processes. And I also think that the university should also try and then apply for the accreditation way ahead of time, so that it will not be a situation whereby they want a program run now accreditation. So it's just about streamlining the process, and this thing could be easily done. I now have technology. Universities can file their documents online. The institutions, the GTech can resend the documents online to those who are supposed to work on, and we can streamline some of these things. And I hope that we'll all be okay. But we need to understand, for me, and I have to be stressing this one, for me, reaccreditation of programs ain't a big issue. Should not be our focus should be to ask the Auditor General to tell us how many of these programs are new any system no mukrampo afi na university no person mo running then so ma major accreditation no more running. That is where the catch is, and that is what we should focus on.
Mama na say any ebra wanya ediama ye oranti. Peter Auntie na wote ne ka no I first eho na owo na ni nyina no eye enwumasua abodi nkrata ye yekosua pa hodo kosua ne yekokoje meba efi he ya na ye bedi enkomo na Erica J oyese ne bre no obekọ be se 8:45 ese odi meka 20 minutes sansa fia na wo ban ti odi be shem ansa na wakọ sa ne be no akwaba bokọ de nyame adom so be ho ye pa na Nnawotwi so no opanyi bako miame honorable ono so ha na menya hu no afi na se afi na ma hu no ti no honorable Bernard Martin
mejo so aburu
akwaba nso
ya na
baby ofre
obade adaroma you're sorry anti atenka boni bia moje die mu afurusane abusuafo sorry diakanaka
Mate, me de be chase wo ho ye hwe KNUST na University of Ghana koma yedi ene eye abodi krato modema program sa omo rane say accreditation omo enie briefly na obeboso de na obeka.
Okay, but me fa kwanya odi ama me no pay na me chia Ghana for algebra hwe ya no pay because e betin fidi case so na ye kasa. And most especially Adom TV ne Adom branch mo ko akiri papa je betina say na say hunu say ye ne animdifo na kasa na ye ne atitire so na kasa enti ye ba na say ye chia wonom na ye da wonom ase say wonom gibre so ehwe ye no mutuyefo ti ye be chia wonom agibra ehwe ye anopai me chia me nu Erica J no ho ya efe amamu opa na adodan kwa kufuado ode ato Ghana for yesu me nu ho ya efe
last week, my name is. You see, last week, no, you good rep, and no by.
What I say? Eti, mechi mo ankasa so. I'm say asem ma kan enya de bia ehu bia sa. Asem aba beto so beto mo emu. But good sa aba beto ho na esi di hu nkomo. Na sabe de esi no chena bi no ebi nsa nkosi bi. We share universities na two universities and a public universities a ka ho asem yete ana say university started say wonom kire ye nuanom ana ye nkasa ya di enye nne programs you are running from the one up to date anti me hu the need sabio say be ye no hu kese kakraka ana say hu bi ade bi a ebi NC da ade aba IS ka ho asem all right. Then mom the way asibia yesi fa eka elbo no asif say one of enye accreditation one nya abodi nkrata IS one running such programs no kra eba san say running your institutions and down and we should be borne in mind these are two great institutions on mine and Kasadi University of Ghana and Kwame Nkrumah University Kumasi what you say ade one running eba sa ye de ehun ene ayem hihye eto ye nuanom na wo school esua ade asisia no mo no hu onum faith say ade a me yi ana ade sua me sua na body krata me tena se asim penten kwa age da bi ye me kase endimu ana asede ade hu to ye nuanom ne so nti betoto asre say the way ye kan no ye tone down na ye kan sade ye se na sade ye fata ebie it doesn't mean say GTech nyuma no omno ye no Ghana fo eni nje anase Ghana fo eni jini nyina ho sabe money universities na ye adwuma and I like the submission of the last person who spoke or say institute adia one more running data and na institution JTech no so no onum ni say ye institution be asset ye wo in-house staffs ye no onum ye adwuma omo high consultants no mo no mo ma ye adwuma and consultants no omo so omo nyuma onum ye to omo ye we na part time ye besre so waji bibi says part time adwuma na obeya there are standard operating procedures that you need to follow and get it done right adia akwakobe menya social universities no and I apply for re-accreditation and that we know say universities no they have bodies that regulate your activities me kakra me koko suaye no menim say o ko university and now run university ye wo schools ewom enti wo ko school no and be take care of the administrative activities of that particular school no okay enti ye nuanom no wonom ho so I know said they no one day said they need to apply even 1 year even before the ending period given to the program no me nyɛ sure so one man apply so one man apply there should be sanctions so one man apply in so yem bisa questions say about ne say na up to date yem ma one accreditation and I say yem ma mo re-accreditation no because the programs are one man running I had there one man ya free to be prepared nti nim kwan a fa so asa HC ba e ho no na ya ka na ye da na na do dan kwaku fa Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ase
okay
esan say nkoromodi a abeye ko be nyina sisi obi a suggest say yenye electronics registration and no so ni ade a aban we a champion led by Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and I can tell him the future is bright adwuma na washa ase no otu no ho si wo so osom ne man Ghana sabe papa wait me ko adwuma no pa 5 am obebe fia be about 3 am ni nyina your mind no ho don't eniem o menua
na so ko upon 10 the anka dollar in America
we
upon say
Bernard Mitio
enti ye be hye nkran say dwuma pa e no wafa a oyi on hye ye hye nkran on mia no ho on kɔ nanim na Ghana be ye ya de bia fa ndefo ye wase me ye ka wose wonso onye nipa waza ye ya wanso na ye wa form man na to na koma so na gradually we've moving systematically you see you're moving from 1 2 ye de any so hwe ho ye be sre say institutions no munyina mo ma ye embrace na ye nye na Ghana ye build
me da say Bernard Odronya kon e na wote nka no MPP communication team no oka ho Eric
net thing
nyame adom
and nyame ase me chia me nua Bernard a week today me no na the share my sister station UTV but your call no was a good rep
ma'am ko hose good rep as a businessman say to that be
na o chire mama me
na say mama kan
da me ba
so as a businessman
me ko as businessman me tie me teacher
okay
me businessman me tie me nya me nya kwalista me sofo me nya sofo me a businessman nti ni ye hia business rep man akota na business no nim say guta
oye otiase no ano no
nti tuntro na utwa
nti omo pe na no mpese omo pe se yemi enu no last week dey no gina homa guta no na ogina
me nyina homa guta
Eric Butio
politics asemo anofa dey me fa akwanye so na me senior Abbas no reading Ashanti region the communications officer and na your birthday me mana wodapa ya menka no ho na omwo ne ho ban oni na busia na eno aso me nsan nyina ho nse me hye brisie na I can say tuntum no former chief of staff Julius
ni free her meba
o ya ni nua Cambodia ono nso ye na yakwa akoja na kwan ya mabusia ni nyina ya akọ ne hyede. And then so come a class at Ghana Law School. Your mates back or car baby Belinda last week, 29th. And also my class for Mobile so many. Na yako ako chiche busuane re. Yama busuane nyina answer yako. I mean about with the issue of Auditor General Jumedia Odi. Ne institutions are yenim se omo na ye omo a I was the right thing. My follow no so and one bedim. You see, a kind of institution like your tertiary institutions now. Auditor General no why can why no mean akwajo munim the free buy. It is at times say audit service no indict if it is say your universities need the can house and we need not to take it to be like lights architect. The question is why am I in charge of those things? Say a in order or tertiary institutions, because maybe I kwakoji there be bo mind there. You can't just be seated and do things anyhow, because this same tertiary institutions in the country will be a master's program or on a weekend. Say any chrono be a subject you on one class bear 5 times crocodiles and so it makes a man intro. It happens. And I know some of my colleagues are the idiom. And to us institution, no common registration, I also with me supervisor. And mom you be a training fees are all running. What now I say went me at the end of the day report are being that so then you come out telling us say even no mom we in charge in a crown no most of the times no share home offices in the Ninamunyaka. Embarrassment on you.
I didn't hear.
No, you see the academia and the respect for the academia and is different. And don't think I hear a man of you know. Say a banner ye a man sema. I thought that unim baby America say free and maba. Unim de minu Bernard Becker. But you just almost see academia. We should go and seek for your knowledge. What am I say? So people expect a lot from them. It's the embarrassment on them. They should sit up and make sure say Bibisa the NCBM. Just imagine say may a program be one of those schools. Now Auditor General report aba. Makwa for full report na kind. Near some course na me run school no cran on register. How will you feel? You be so embarrassed and I'm a boy. So at the end of the day, no, omo kasa ni nchemu no omo de ba no enye cure e ma remedy. The only thing is that you do the right thing at the right time. So they should make sure say they need for no omo be ye ne summary. Now the next Auditor's General report ebeba no yem konkwati bibi etisa. That is not fair. Because the report no executive summary makumu kakra. Which means Ghana na your problem. And the problem is procrastination no. Me ye na maye ene ma nya anya nenam. That is our problem. Okofa if in 1992 ba Auditor General reporter. Baby the crowd be the same bro for na chiro in 92 no one 193 no one 196. So what you say? So the question is, what do we do after say results in Abano? Report in Abano. So we all have to take a positive step towards Auditor General's reports.
Okay.
Na zeal na ye de be shemu no ye ma munye du se de be ya. Ye nye ne se de akoye cyclical something. Afisum bi ya na ye de be ba. Ni aba multimedia e be debate ya ni e pie ni e ko. That is how it is now. And
when tina ye wo hey.
Ye discuss last year de na wi.
Asebisa no ne say beka say de de yenim no ye den e na ye ko. Because anya hwe in 2019.
Yeah.
Daniel Domilovu e bo moden e ma be 66 million Ghana cedis retrieve ye. Eba no set charges ne disallowance a oyeye no na si kase kra no nyambo adwoda eku ba ko so mo kopekete e wo Auditor General ne office ye CSOs no bebre no na ma kan mo ho abom ekotu sa na mo no na ye be kase ebre na so atwa is long overdue e said Auditor General ne o ye rasi edu e be sorry na waye adwuma no because so sha in 2017 12 billion Ghana cedis na report no ka say misappropriation sika ye ntimi mu ho akonta 2018 kwanati ba fon bedu be say 3 billion Ghana cedis ye kopie mu 2019 esa raise ye a rise ko 5.4 billion 2020 12.8 billion 2021 akodu 17.4 billion make say what dey 2020 dia no to this year ho a ohamu chiche no be say do sensia e na ahwi ko nanim na sa wo se wo komu pa o mama enchebu kakra COVID funds de kakra wo mu eno achi so no eba no enema hode se ye ton sika ye gie ne ade eno so kakra wo mu the way forward e ye de yen kinkan ne se ya na ye sorry anase etisen mama shase we record na me saw way forward ne ye de ye kan we no anshase ne anshase 2017
one say eba ne Auditor General adwumadi a odia the 1992 Constitution no ena man akwenya. That is Article 187. And he say all kind the whole article na the Auditor General have enough of powers. Ya odidi nijuma. But the legitimate question na yebusa ye hone say after say what di nijuma di na wi no. Ekokusi sen. Like I indicated afibia so Auditor General report beba. Politicians, everybody better say discuss it. Near boy blame game, near sorry call. The next report to come. Me no Kazasi you were the Audit Service Act, Act 584. And non also when you media a divo nyama winning. But me who from different perspective. I think say now there's a bill in Parliament, Audit Service, Emrana, person more pass my internal audit service for no. Once all these things are age in the debano, Auditor General debano. Internal audit within various organizations, you know, a conduct or more auditor, or 90% of this. But the problem is, nipa no internal audits na or staff or that institution, no. Or can part of the internal management body, no. So at the end of the day, me Bernard anyway, Bernard the manager, me internal audit, me na me head. Ye nyina adwuma ba akona ni tua yeka ye daily everything we do it together say me ko hu chimato wo Bernard dwumadi ho a it will be very difficult for even the same organization or institution to say charge my brother here. And I think they should decouple internal audits from the operations of all those government agencies now. Now you more the powers to do their own things. Now you more the prosecutorial powers to say the attorney kind of say Auditor General all those powers now with him dizzy human. Because at the end of the day, say your father route now a bit me severe kakra. And na ebi me hu no so say ye mra na e didi say adwuma no so e was say ya essential mukena in a way. Because if we know say ebia okofa the Audit Service Act no na nipa no say ya kan bibia afa no ho a o be 60 days. So the response be ba na so be challenge we any high court account. But all those laws are there, but amount for any in this so. Enya ba ya ebi abontia na kokua ba na maba. Nya kwa akofo 1992 kra na the whole Ghana ye Auditor General report no na Ghana ya hwiri say ye kra de na swati akofo na adane debate. Nti na ehu de ne penso e take off from the tebasro. But the issue is, I was seeing the holistic approach. What cited from 2017 till 2021 reports. I say, the year Kenya all borders on leadership. It borders on leadership because where you focus is say you're a leader. This is my direction. This is how to go at you can. It's the main character they make the famous speech from His Excellency Nana Dankwa-Akufo-Addo. Okay. Wamra near Denisia Konya so no so Obabe boy a public person who buy so kaipa. Me too. And the person no mamene who share because as of today, Auditor General, the ama yehu increases. Ewo reports never financial irregularities no. Uko to them level. Read a lot. Once after say occupy Ghana, echo court no. Based on occupy I can say Auditor General sense him no. Supreme Court and as a court about time can people say age no ewo ho kwan say or say charge any disallowance in the keka ho nyina. And you could see say onya had that powers no the level by no or start and or champion in the right direction. So a lot of people became so excited to the extent to say President Akufo-Addo crack or born abasu baby. The mistake okoye nyina ne say okopesi na na ya wasafumafo. President Niamba Akwa on any free Eastern region Achempetemo senior minister and only two men penny for. Aden ya ye kokofa company bi ba friend crew and associate. Na ye hwehwe mu no na ye na ya wasafumafo ba na hye nti na utimu se niema bi ankoyi nti se nimguase be kan abusua ba akode ne yenka oman ene ye pamo demolevo owre sorry ko officer no pa ba ko a ye the padlock be 20 if the presidency ene dey call lock in offices iwie ya na yasen aka
ani nyina hu se ye the padlock ni free presidency ba
se directive na ye the pamo no if the president atena nti ni office na otimu no no onye handing over okọ na ya chenyi padlocks no na de kotum keno for real time ma omoto koma Akufo-Addo no de kotum ebiem after so mo years ade ni wie no na omokoko fa de omopede ne betena ho owure ye oba betena ho afi bi oba report no de aba hwan na wase charge na disallowance ne bi asiwo and with the issue I the pamon dem level no ni age aso so okọ retirement me boa ene me no kasa ban we mu contractors nko a Oko pension pay near my contract. Now, just last 2 weeks, GS, no Nikroma. Look at what the teacher unions did. Look at what they said. But Director General no call retirement. You know. Your man a contract 1 year. but the molevo no be anim say all come on man all retrieve esika maye no or the nsa kokan busuani nti ade echi ya na ekope ni date of birth yes o pension onko iwi e de kra so e kodivo Ivory Togo nti a money transfer just say how we run the system no it's part of the problem so at the end of the day you move from 12 billion right equal 17 billion you get same people giving a lot of justifications and yeah there because my say omo print some statistical ibia omo dinam radio so and MMDAs no odi free 1990 say ba I drop about this percentage. That is the problem we have. Your current dispensation, what do we supposed to do? And ade ba ko ekunya I think say this Auditor General sense no ya hwe ya yield the resource assassination. Every political party be about power biano. Quickly. Health insurance, technocrat na bia na nkote ho after establishment from Kofono wonim there no. Party ba ya no apam no the constituency chairman akwate no health insurance manager. Near the secretary or need any technical know-how.
Ade amunyina mo politicians.
No na make you obi amfrim near the nipa na kwate na ho. Nti ono no ote ho no. The onima ne so your manager.
Okay.
What the document in ba obi kra anya den on kan obi sign. All those things are a contributory factor until say you better realize say we are the major cause of the problem. We can't cure it. In Timinua, we have the men, Mona Montesonde. And ye say Afibia Auditor General report bebano. Na sika eshi gukwa ese kwa ekonenim. Offer this year dear. Koshe I can't say PPA, Public Procurement Authority. Kohe irregularities.
Okay.
We are in a country you kunya PPA boss. Ya no Uru Kufuado man appointment na account balance 53 Ghana cedis. Na account na ye de kwa ye bitua ne ka fam boss me no. Na nuru 100 Ghana. Otena office 2 years over 500 billion old Ghana cedis na na dan account. Munu ya manasa azuri ewu ni kwache no. Na no ada yazo ni return so ni sika e won account. Wo yi ni nyina. So this is the system omo ombe check ama transparency no kura koso no. Hona emanate free. So how do we fight it? Another
question anopay ededwa yedi mu komo no. You see Auditor General in the office no kwan be na ye be fa so amana ye useful. Ya eno no ye be ka se ebebo o man no sika no ho ban. Enti ye fa MPP ento nchen. Enne ya na 2024 ye fa say NDC anya kwanya ma we ni power. Ede na mo be ya ma office no se be ye useful. Se the Ghana for hwe no.
Oh, once I said earlier say I am happy say there's a bill in Parliament. My internal audit. I operate in a way. I didn't say and compromise or more operations with institutions internally. One idea I buy with me and I say pass. I'll be so happy.
Okay.
And also, Auditor General, sir, searches and disallowance continue. Tom level baby. At least o secure be kakra de back. Anamebwa. But where the o can kese ahwe anu akanti obi we dey say ye pam obi na de ne ko obi adwuma pa oye no ene ye kofa another connection ma de ne buy say o dey o ya untimi nye ahwe ye be discuss ne ye jai enti for now if indeed ye say ye be ye ho adwuma that is where we have to start from and ade ba ko a emramu ya na nka eboa ne say ene minua Bernard kodi bone ya punish no okomramu and the essence say obi edi bone ne ye punish no ade ba ko edi kan bi ni deterrence se we ade ne ye punish na ochna erikeje ko hu the same thing na me wo fear because ade ko de na Bernard ko ya punish no if I go the same thing will happen to me but we are in the system you heli de wotimi wi adodo what am I say let me say this on your platform I'm a young person in politics what de me TSC me party mrabem na yema me di bi asem nso me man na within 8 years and I say be 12 years I be fra bem no se wuntimi nya de papa bia wo krom a okrom for community no kra be di watem we oye kohwini chen obia okọ politics unse fie kra wansi bi what I say so even society no kra na ye fimi no omo ene jaze for corruption
ehimfo na ayama sade na ka
ya ne ayama na ka
politicians
in free society no okoye churches are politicians are the leaders there. For how long do you see any of your pastors so jina podium so no preach no the corruption related issue attached that no. Because as of corona no ma me no ya sorry penny obo corona na no. But some so tuata 2 billion. Umusa baby onya free. What is a ma me corona invade tax. But asoro magina nachi. Asofo gina nachi.
It's the fact that society no
the mentality
about momo no.
Omoni about here no. Ye free society no never. Ye free society no never. In a society na okwa anke ye hwese ni monyam ne de beba no. Ono no kope bibi society no. What am I say? They cannot. We are in a country. Obi edi bone aban twe na so no betina na nanu matutu ntuma say ye press conference. See etaji ye de hye nachi. Mewa. Eho the auditor general anya ho say auditor general power the ti ahemfie ni de keka wa. Nkan say as issues problem. Ye betimi solve. So everywhere in our country there's a problem.
Examples to that effect about
I know one specific church. I know one specific church. Na omukobu nkontan. So for fam pumam ni sifo. So for wa boss or any defeat. Wa short to. But those matters will never come out. Church leaders and sit and jojo na transfer so for me boy. O transfer na adwene kro na odigu house or no one dey kwa. And these are the very people any omoya manuals and oko MPP Emmanuel Kuimu Madam Food Minister Deputy Minister of Education one reverend asofo ye politics na nanom ye ni omo na ye enti what I am saying is first mindset ye betimi asesa mindset and two ye regulations so I did regulate your system no so no ye nhye mu kena ni enya pepa say we are all on board fighting a common enemy. That is all.
Bernard mamemra ho as a party man oh you proud 17.4 billion Ghana cedis.
17.4 billion Ghana cedis.
We are proud of it.
Okay, say proud of it. That's in what sense?
Say, you say, make us a defense baby no but even within the finance ministry no. But even within the finance ministry no. You know the year last year by 12.8. This year I rise I could do 17.4. We share in sema wo mu a Sky Train sika be $3 million ani here. Omo che say your feasibility studies in kwano according to the Auditor General be $2 million and e won call COVID fund and also so no be say over 200,000 Ghana cedis.
Okay.
And to see it has not been accounted for your mu ho akonta obi ehunu ye. This and many others and na e wo ma lead to this 70.4 misappropriation no.
Me da say say
na Bernard mpacho hold on mama ma yentie we emra na yensan nkomo we
office because yenye very rich country sika kakra e se ebo ho ban na make sure say obia na ye de cedi ba kokra ma no no obe use sika ni ye se be no sa na all these rules as a declaration in the enforce it but we are interested in the fact that so surcharges no it has to be issued in you better document every single disallowance in the Auditor General report from 2019 to now and we are going to make sure say we want to see action taken on say sikani recover let's document it but you better accounting for every single recommendation and why in it anything that procedure is important into a surcharge we na oko retrieve is documented. What I say now when I say oh my say ebia order the record here and my say that there be it doesn't allow for good accountability. Into after the fact in America say oh and you recover is important but I see a document. But even no I see busa say yeah then and I team recruiting for Ministry of Finance I your moka obia system no does not flag it at any point in time. And if Yanchu be a swan, next time no, would the person also do it again? Because your case recover, you said you're more recover. Ebi a second more be an amusa recover. And as I'm calling Pacrona, which 2 years no, some of us scanning brana. Sometimes during why I say public service nedia, obia the ope. Because people will not do that with their private companies. Anything a procedure is important.
You be a the ope, and a dear bedu baby a gene. Ora, who some no chichin comono, a koja sante, Oko CDD Ghana, or your Director of Advocacy and Policy Engagement. Now, him say, Nyambo Ejiwada, or can civil society organizations are almost copycate, ako proteste kakrebi, omo kwache Attorney General, Auditor General, and Bibi kakrebi, one office or, to me na Ghana amamradia manono, ofanye juma, na obia wafa kwan bi so edi sika bi edi juma, enya ne kwan so no, wose sika no se onipa no betua, ene de kan wo, odi kan yi ano, wo sha Auditor General report no, eka se nipa miense Finance Ministry, etua wo moka efiti January, besi December 2021, omo kwa hye nkrata mu no, omo nye adwumefo wo ministry ho. Yera ye John Kuma yo ye swafa be de akire wo ase ho no be chem so sika nkra no o retrieve a wo saka sika no back na se bisa no se eno ano no ana wo sa so twe bi ekoma nipa bi no mu a wo tu sika no de kɔ ho no ma memra ha na Bernard metie de wo kataw na yenkoje enkratomra Ben metie o
sa 17 point whatever million that a billion na ye ka ho asem no Auditor General in Numa for ministries, MMDAs, whatever, that's assemblies, and any ministries in editing, auditing, and to me a back cover or to arrive at such money. You see, but we are trying to a section of emphasis NDC for try manner sound as if you say a sikapudua at that account. And I said, obi tro check your pijay no the share bag no the share na motor. That is not the case. Omo yama na look is but we need to talk to the general public. Ni mo hunu say. Sika ye ka ho asemi. Ye ka ye new Auditor General or start ye bi wo ministries and oba assemblies. Now, ministries okay, e be a Ministry of Finance or Ministry of Education. Ya kase ye ba be painti ye dan. Ye dan ye ba be painti. Painting, ye nim say ministries nankasa na ba be painting. We will outsource it to appropriate quarters and our people who are going to do the painting. Ye de ba mo wonom. Ye nim say o budget ay say ye de painti dan. Okay, ye painti dan na baby abubu ay say ye ho adwuma. Ye be ye ho adwuma. Auditor General be hu say ya fasika e bia 10 million. Ye say ye de painti dan ye de bia ye adwuma no. As a time or an auditor no na adwuma no enya de enkwa wieye na mpanyimfo fa ho nkrata emfa megu nsaniani am ye nhunu se anasa Auditor General ne da pamfo ehunu se sika Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Education e ka se wonom de ye mputudwuma ewo wonom office anasa wonom structure ho no ye ntimi account for. That is how he or she will put it. Auditor General san or the beto esan se sika na ye koyiye eye Ghana for sika taxpayers money I say ye dey bo ebra e wo ministries wonom no and I dey paint ministries dan no ye ntimi fa receipt in my and to him or to his books no e chese sika no ayera because ye mfa ehun nkrata e me redeem
ene akontabuo no
emfa mai nti ono behunu se sika se emaye nti obisa se ewe. Now it doesn't mean say the minister in charge of the ministry afis Canada to no bottom. Ne mbom nkrata na emaye na yemfa redeem sika na yede koye eno nanchen obeka se sika no emaye.
But Ben, the fact is say udi sika di dwuma bi na wonni receipt wonni nkrata to back it say me de yewe no o de wano na beka so bia ye de yewe but anyone my fan sika no afa ba bi.
You see amamuo enye ano ene ye de nkrata because remember Nana Danko Kufuado prior to general that is general election 2016
okay
or catch the Ghana for say MPP for ye tenase ye kruche ye nsam de egu nkrata so ne aba be catch the Ghana for ye manifesto no se Ghana for somua na wodom to abama ye ebredane social contract say ye tenase ne ye make sure say ye be executing what you say eno a documenter ye ne Ghana for sign and Ghana for akwapam. And some ababa jisika me ministries no ma jisika say ye de kwakosie we a Auditor General no buy no e so hu say ye tro petty cash e so hu say ye tro vouchers ne ye de koyi sika ne ye so hu say ye tro checks ne ye koyi sika ne de ba be adwuma nti waba na oba be hwehwe nkrata mu no ye ntimi fa ya no ko kan so Auditor General painter way o ma yam so painting a brush na bu and as say and as ye koto paint we na say but look there should be documented evidence that would use to buttress your argument. And no na enye already. Auditor General, me de se me put am Auditor General, I will say sikawi yenhu ye.
Ye ka se enye already enye yemfa say 2021 enye the only year na say the first year Auditor General ekoye bia ihwehwemu ed report bia te say yaba. Enti yenim say year on no. Bibi ete sa ekoso. Enti how come say yetimi tena ministry yetimi tena ye friend say assembly and another department na ye edisika dijuma without documents to back it say documents ye de ye we de bia ye betina say kasa asem we ye boapaya na say because yen say charge international bia fa no edi ye sa ne ma we ana
men kase ye boapayo anasa ben kase ye bibia sebio enkoso o man no ade a ekoso o man all right but oh she covid abrahu aye boy what you say na say wo hwe niema electricity any insua oman no through na Nado Danko Akufo-Addo e de boa ne mine for na sabi ni nyina I think is about 6 million or 6 billion a part of a kana Auditor General e ka ho asem no ene nye wenko mesre ka wo mesre bisa say minister ana say assembly be and I say agency be ba issue sika free the coffers of the agency or the assembly. Men sure say onom esu onom bo ekokoyi. There are rules and regulations. Onom edi yenuma. And I know say onom the year juma. Nemmom say onom fa nye juma. The people who appointed them needs to check them. Because he can't the person who appointed the minister or whoever is sitting or whoever is controlling the affairs of the ministry or the agencies, you know. Until you best to twasere. Say the Namina Erikiti Heke. 1992, the Ebum 1993, best who the same brofone or
ye who be do 2021.
Absolutely. Until the end ye yen yesu. And ye abai and your benting, and ye be before Ghana for ya yesu. Member to twasere say. Easy, me Casembi has oh mind be ya one kasana way. We need to know, say we have only one Ghana. We don't expect President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo, the President of the Republic. Okay. So be Barbecue Bana so kute duano di do bi debia. He has believed in you or believe in you or Judy when him say you can do it. No do akwa now. Yeah, metena me defend say we diska na we niska. And America no enema ni bi ho enye so obentia diska. Now, this kind of so, I think so they have the powers to prosecute. They can go ahead and prosecute the person. Now, Danko Akufo-Addo catch the Ghana for say, or no, he's come to protect the public space, and indeed that is what we are seeing. Meaning that you not say 1 minute person, we are protecting and we are going to protect it very well. Yes.
But Bernard, ena otene kano, my guest Emmanuel Wilson, or your chief crusader. Edema Crusaders Against Corruption wabeka mensa ewo ha mamenye aboafo nkratwe emra na mema na kwaba na nkobodi no yemfa nto aso mamensa ma wakwaba emra Adom TV na wachi dwumadie so utie ewo asempa 94.7 a mema akwaba na nkobodi no ya hyase anesa yebeto aso Ima Wilson akwaba machenso.
Yeah, me do.
Sabu bia eboko ho.
Nyame adom, bibia eboko. It's just an opinion mo get me off guard. I think say that is the benefit of network and relationship. Yeah, yenua wala. Ana oye ne magic. Ano to me train me edu hanu.
Wala yedase.
But yeah, it's all good. Yeah. For God and country.
I'll come. Eti enkomo na yedie na nani nyina no. Wa ba die na Crusaders Against Corruption die. Na dwumde ketase hye. Auditor General enkomo na yedi. The reporter odiaba 2021 36% increase as against 2020. Misappropriation and irregularities are ekoso. Edien na obeka edi kan was reporting.
Me that's a report in beto jano. Research department, normally that's what we do. Go into it, analyze before we make any comment. Steady, you know. The first thing position I take here and say, confirm Crusaders Against Corruption, your position are you make here in March of this year. March of this year, you can say Ghana has lost the fight against corruption. Now, you can't na you engineer so. Emma, you can say bibia answer na nyema remaining as it is. 2021 Auditor General's report about Betojan, a worse than the 2020. The same thing after going through the report, and then you can the same thing say it's a strong indication that Ghana will lose to the fight against corruption. Now say nyema remaining as it is. 2022 Auditor General's report and Nyame Adom Betoja next year be extremely worse and disappointing than what we have now. So we share the chronology of the Auditor General's report. Now we share the way and manner in which you lose to the fight right from 2016. We share 2016 Auditor General's report. Misappropriation, mismanagement, corruption amounted to 900 million Ghana cedis. 900 million. From 2016 to 2017, 2017 Auditor General's report Betoja, it's shot from 900 million to 12 billion Ghana cedis.
But from 2016, the baby see maybe a year, every year it shoots up.
It shoots up.
Every year it shoots up.
What we should know is it shows it is a clear indication your system are you putting in place to fight and check corruption. Day in, day out, that system is becoming weak.
Yes, but in Tinosha, the issues are raising is and started from 2018 and started from 2017. Even the former president, about the father Crancy, John Mills, Nabreso, through to John Mahama, and now we are still having the same discussion.
The issue is Oshe each year, especially under the late John Mills time now. I think about 2009, a year after, offer figure now compared to the previous one, the following year, about form. The next year, I think 2011 also, issue 2 up. And yes, idea, Yebeka say, a consistency, a move every year. But there are set some years, checks and measures will become so strong, say, it to me, and normalize the figures. You understand? But this period, from 2016, 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, we say consistently figures no stroke na echo. And no check clearly said there is something wrong with the system in which we are fighting. But you see, they be out. Near Baby discussing where you discussing we are then we go and sit down. The following year now seeing about him. You be discussing here we sit down. The following year now seeing about him. Near be discussing. The year they say we are approaching the fight against corruption like what we normally call fire service approach. You won't say ejani wo hon mo a ye ba be do ejano, but we don't go to the root of the matter. It becomes difficult for us to say ene Auditor General's report about Betoja. Yen share how best. You bring a solution. The following year no, we won't get the same thing again. We find it difficult to talk about that. And when say yebani discussing how best to get solutions to it. Yebekano just like a talk shop. You can we program. You read the 2 months, 3 months, year on. We forget about it. Everyone goes to sleep, and then the system, as it is now, it repeats itself for the next year, and that is what is happening. It is so bizarre. Say, what was your position? And I saying you now. The Ebeka say you say a confirmation of your initial position. Say Ghana is speedily losing the fight against corruption in this country, and that is unfortunate.
So what are the figures now? In 2017, a hit best 12 billion.
Yes.
But 2018, a tiba form as low as 3 billion.
Exactly.
And at 2019, a call over 5 billion.
Exactly.
Into no, what share baby? What share at least? I will make some efforts in 2018.
Good.
And you knew the Akobaye, a moment sign at tiba form no. Good. Would you say that the fact is a cost or increase? I've read something you read John Kuma Achro. Yeah, now or making reference to some changes be about, especially with the Ghana Revenue Authority, and it has best 4 billion irregularities near the at least no. We should report in my one no a sort less than 1 million Ghana cedis. Nature say so we no report by report no na wo kom ya na there is some shortfall mechanic say improvement be some areas
sectors. In fact, MMDCs we share reports now compared to the last year's reports now there has been some improvement. Sure. Our MMDCs, the municipal department, there has been some improvement. But you see, it is just like robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Okay.
Into this department, and then there's a loophole in the other department. Into Okoya Naso by. You get what I mean? You can say 2020 Auditor General's report, 12.8 billion. And I lose we couldn't account for it. But see the mechanic, compare 2020 to 2021, MMDC, there has been an improvement. Notwithstanding, other departments, the loophole is so strong, say, balance here, we have moved from 12.8 to 17.4 billion. We haven't done well in any way. We may say we've got an improvement here, but the fact say we get improvement, now this side, you haven't done anything. You understand? And that is the problem we have in this country here. The problem is say, I am not so even though I know there are some departments that we did well, I wasn't bothered about it. Okay. Because as a country, we should move beyond the celebration of mediocrity. We should move beyond that. The fact said, also John Kumaba Beka say, oh, you're sector by sector, also for customs or whatever. We did some good there. Any other? If you see Kakrompa Auditor General, they better just so much. Some 3 persons. Yes. That were finance minister. Yes. They have retrieved the money. That is one way of working and making sure say things are done properly. But you see, in retrieving that money, question that you see Bisa when say Auditor General's report, Ambambe Tuja. Now you start to say would they have retrieved it? Isn't it so embarrassing? Say no mean a ministry than Ministry of Finance. Ghost name. I mean, can you imagine? And yet any other ministry, Ministry of Finance are almost economic planning. Apart from Auditor General's and Auditor General's department, Ministry of Finance has a supervisory role in all ministries. They make sure say Sikaya de Bema ministry near departments here then way before Auditor General Beba out. Now say wow, it is a check those places. No. You are engaging in payment of ghost names. The fact that you've retrieved it for me and now for Crusaders, it shouldn't end there. You retrieve it, you know. A ban is saying a whole ministry. How many ministers? 1 minister, how many deputies? 2, 3 or so. We even have Minister of Finance in charge, Minister of State in charge of Finance, our presidency. And in that case, we have about 4 ministers or 5 ministers in charge of finance. And then ghost name can take place there. Any serious jurisdiction are committed to the fight against corruption. Just like someone said some years ago, heads must rule our ministry. And that should serve as a deterrent to the others.
You shared the statement, John Kuma, Emeki. Say omuhunu no say at least in ka Auditor General report no omayehunu say anyehwe no omu make recoveries bi recommendations into report no by no na ye de asem say bia de esi ye no ya make ABC the recovery because possibility say bia esi no high and you say the public perception about corruption no was soro enti no what is wrong with say bia Auditor General yawie no abeche say area ABC Osha reporter about the previous year now. Changes when aba. Eba no so positive. What is wrong with all the baby? At least Ebema obi ehun say, Auditor General na adwuma no. Ntokro bi de baby a wo so ye ne ye esi. Se de be ya onfa ma mo bi nya tokro bi nwura mu meka bibi mfa mfa.
Then it tokro ne say, per what you are saying, tokro ne say then say in get Auditor General no. My recommendations near
and what recoveries are why
because if you look at the report now
not perception what want at least correct
if you look at the report now recommendations were made our reports in almost all the abnormalities are identified in or make a recommendation and that is the norm. OSHA 2020 Auditor General's report recommendations or and until Crusaders Against Corruption 2020 Auditor's report Ebetoja first advisor Yedema special prosecutor and say Onjai all goose chaser or making in an uncover 2020 Auditor General's report. So person fighting corruption offer sector by sector, department by department. Obey to me pursue. What happened to it? Today, as we speak, we have so many anti-corruption institutions in this country, state institutions. Iyoku, Eyebako. Special Prosecutor, Eyebako. Auditor General, Eyebako. Shraj, Eyebako. Even CID's department, Eyebako. And others. In fighting corruption, it is not just about Auditor General. Indeed, Auditor General, ne powers are ukite nyina, it is clothed in Section 51 of the Financial Administration Act, or Finance Administration Act. Surcharging and disallowing.
Okay.
Those are the powers he has. And if so be 40 special Auditor General in anything, the only thing that you can say, I don't know invoke is our section. Let us surcharge those individuals. Apart from that, Yembisa Yahoo say other corrupt anti-corruption institution, special prosecutor, Obaye, right from Martinamidu time, basically the current one I will have. When have you heard say that office no? Akase, Yafa Bibi from Auditor General's report, we are pursuing it. Look, corruption is a criminal case.
Okay.
It doesn't expire. Auditor General, special prosecutor say if he's committed to the fight, he can go as far back as 2016. 2012 and all that, and go and pick it.
Would you to say Auditor General Juma or report or the ban? Problem say would you to?
Look, as long as it is a human organization, there's bound to have problem. You can never have 100%.
And to the extent say jitum say kwan bia so no, enye 100% no. That little problem na she say besi no. Identity the image of some institutions and personalities. Universities abaya over 600 programs almost running. Almost so many accreditation. Yes. Some education sakasa almost to say nanka Auditor General was so specific because the fact say me running program A na ebia ewu year in 2019. Na me kwadi re-accreditation and yes me running the program no without mini accreditation no. There is a problem. You see, I don't imagine, no, but also by a component late.
Me pacho, you see, that is also the other problem. It is either say issue banning a person discussing who way forward now. Say a shena say amanyophone shena say emboamwa, they quickly bring in politics, and then it takes away the main focus. The same way say technocrats who say adian emboamwa, then they will try and look for the loopholes. The question is this: Young Fampo say Auditor General's report, you know. And you're 100% accurate.
Okay.
Young Fanny say 95 or 90% accurate. My interest is the 90% accurate, no? And not the other one. In any case,
but the
this
10%
issue
also goes against
in any case, these universities are here can say they don't have how do you call it, accreditation. If you study the Auditor General's report, or specify said there are some of the courses it has expired, it hasn't been renewed.
Yes, we know.
Yes.
And the schools now report new programs out. It be as far back as 2010. We are not agreeing
so then what is the issue? So if it hasn't been renewed and it has expired, technically, legally, it means that you don't have accreditation for that.
No. There are professors Omwakasa, JTech Eko Masama, Omuna Yomo mandate, you know. Office even the personal model for free baby no model.
Yes.
It is not a year the fan say school no issue say na say bia effort to say they have applied. But one no adwuma no so obenya. The fact say me year program me accredit and I say me dia bampa me nya no and say me accreditation. Into the specifics no. Because a whole university I can say Ghana, UG came nationally. You don't know my image.
Me a driver. Me cry license. I'm a driving. So my license expire. I don't have the right to drive. No crying and no cry.
Me too.
No crying and no cry. You didn't come on. Me a driver and ne stop me. Na me license
You can't.
I can't.
Yes.
I don't have the right to drive. So, ocheme na me ka say, oh, my apply ba me do DVL ho no. Almost say omu ni akadia ni adenti a delay wo ho no mo. Does it still give me the right to drive? It doesn't. It doesn't. And you can come out with all the technicalities. The bottom line is there are some you have been accredited to do some things. At the end of the day, the reason why there's always a renewal is to ensure that there's standardization. Into the first time I accredit, it doesn't mean I had to say car. Every year there is call for roadworthy renewal. The fact say I have been given a roadworthy certificate doesn't mean say the following year no it be a car no for to be emba. Instead to say medical for it to be renewed. Your corner you're checking out for to be anyone. They'll renew it for me. So for to one because they won't renew it for me. Okay. That is what it means. And until look, my position is this, and I have heard a lot of people, even judges. Matikra say judges ababe kasi ana cars 19 cars are ye onshen mo no omo de omo to baby na ye onshen no. If anyone has an issue you should go and give it go and blame omo ye onshen no.
Are they wrong to say that?
They are wrong to say that.
Why?
Let me tell you why. Look, I'm a lawyer or I have a legal background. In the first year law, any first year law student okotina class, one of the mazins and now one of the principles I show. It's a Latin principle. Caveat emptor. What you say? Buyer beware. Say, it is the same principle which has been said. Unim said, sabi miko we have phone we na me beton ma. Na police for chimia. What talk stolen goods is here becho. Do you know that?
Yeah.
It is based on that principle. You can't tell me say the judges are the custodian of your law. They don't know this principle. Are you getting it? And so you can't come out and tell me, say, oh, me baby, and I side. In fact, information I made which has not been confirmed. They said this valuation it didn't pass through STC.
Mate.
Are you getting it? And yes, people will want to come out and create all the issues near them, but you remaining focused. The focus is that there are abnormalities in our public sector. Okay. The focus is that we need to find a way of resolving it. The focus is that if any individual has been found culpable, that person shouldn't hide behind legality and technicality and say, oh, now you apply here, it has expired because it hasn't been renewed. It doesn't mean that we don't have a credit. If it hasn't been renewed, it has expired. It means you don't have the right to pursue that cause. Mate, that is what it means.
Medasima, Bernard Mamemra ho, ima shasi mo say, oma kanchum na the reports aba eni sikabe tujan e confirm say Ghana elusu gradually elusu the fight against corruption and some of Sanima way. No, wabai and also party and a wabai mu. Would you say malusu fighting against corruption?
Mintimin gentum
I didn't hear.
Made you 2 more in ye san say. Be a message for MPP a manifesto no more. Na I'm a Ghana for who say, na nado dan kloku for to catch the Ghana for say, or Bible book. O mine person ho bra no ka sa wie no Ghana for your to ababa no na pam for you won so no be bu mine no o ka kire won no say so wo free say wo ba for personal gains, please, that is the door there, you can exit. Na or ba strengthen institutions they have the mandate to prosecute, they have mandate to investigate Bonnier near ebeko oman so. Ye was special prosecutor, oba no obabete. Sabiu se oye oman penini obeso socket asese so a. Enka menye sure say obe establish OSP ne officer man ababe yedwuma. Ebie oba no was strengthen Iyoko fake. And Auditor General says me akwakobe no. We internal audit activities no so pa was also strengthen one was one more than say munye adwuma without any fear or favor. So be ye boni bi wa na mamu no mu a obe subject you to the appropriate courts. Se courts no ehwehwe won sem mu na wonom ka se ko hu ni kan bia obe san wa ye adwuma na mmom se ebo ana se ebo wa sabi one san en kan kire wo say because me president of the land in intin a sabi wo ma ban mu no sambra be ye adwuma onso so yenhwe yenkwa chi yenhwe yankasa ye nua senso boache tama na oye deputy chief of staff amanfo de nsem bebre to no so the man released asenso boache because say CID for to nsafre no ka cheze me nua kọ meja wo de amom me investigative body me na me first gentleman of the land and I hired you to come and support me na say na abadia I have no hand in it into call. And pass or CID for a to na no. Or no to na no man, one ba bonte beka say, ni hu ni boni bia no papa na san so fa ne ne ye adwuma assuming yen hwe OSP nyuma o ye yi sabio yan kasa ye maame e la bianca oye MPP ni mapa wasom ne man wasom party no it is nke ye kan ke be kase OSP nsem o de ba abonten e fa la bianca ho no enkase na nado dan kwakufu ado ye obi a sabio also so ketase so a senior OSP de ba na ko be ka chense ya mentua mia na me man a na me di anim Ghana for me ka ho bi enti mentua oboa MPP enti mentua na momu anka ne saa mama me na kwa akotue sika no
but otue wie ye ne ye hu nsem a asori wachire within the party the attacks are echo OSP so
listen don't be surprised attack echo OSP so because ye ka se ye ko sansem no mu a me kra ka bia me ka se me attack OSP wa ha because se wa ba se wo ba be ye investigations e wo port activities and can we expect OSP to start from MPS Meridian Port Service and the NDC regime one of the port no is it time on be sign terminal 3 Ghana Port and Harbors Authority they had the same strength so me kwa over 90 something million dollars na on be build the port no but under NDC one more dodge Ghana Port and Harbors Authority no one do ma AP Mola group no Danish for abrofo no de ma ono 35 strong years 35 years so mun develop port no na mun fan tetemoka now the ya abrofo ewo mu so ne say amano having 80 something million dollars so one fan develop port no na asanso amano till 85 million no I stand to be corrected right say for develop a port no fatoto niema bra fa bi betua duty na oman na nya sika no na 85 million or the whole port no not the 35 years at tenika no na wasanso man over 50 million dollars tax exemption nti na beton oman ma won ma na say o mo tax exemption wasan cho mo 50 something million no
it will expect say na ka na OSP the question
we expecting ye say ye fo ano so na mom ebie hwe ka Wilson Almighty Car was an issue. Easy, na make us a cassie come. And nunti, and I made sure another uncle for also sort sa bonnie for some so. And a near my course all Bianca Mamu so no crampono. And ya dear mamma no cast won't you duty. She genuinely applied to Ghana Revenue Authority. Sabi me tie me near mammy and Sabanas all the 100 now, but every week she pays over 7 million Ghana cedis revenue to the state. Me and me tribia 40,000. You have upper hand. What I say, you can apply. Say, oh, me per se say due to ABC didn't. Workforce had also same idea. ABC didn't. Me stress and come with me at some me. And genuinely she did that. And to me, who no boni be a mammy yeah. But the young fan don't touch it. What I say now, say OSP, aba. That's what me. Na do danko kufa na kanches. We a Council of State member in Tibentua. It tells you say the man is pursuing the agenda. As he said. It's
how is it reflecting and the ordinary Ghanaian who say the fight offices are my established and how mobua push your more fund your mono yield the results. Are we witnessing that?
Me say yeah me better videos na me Ghana focus I am person me can sub local language ne ma me na ono te e kwan ho na auto money na ye tete the tax 11 cedi no ye de bo oman no me person me kasa na ono te ase. And team senka me kasa ye kono me sabi you won penifo no be kan million percentage blah 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 me ma me no te kwan ono nte ase ono so no beto exactly and no na ye kasa we MDAs na what ne ye nyina te yam say ya kasa enyuma na nado danko akufuado why strengthen wo no through that no over 900 million cedis etimi reduce from 2020 your friend say Auditor General report a cow the cow kase yem fan is okase wo no mawia no yetimi ateso sa yes yem fan say so the mawia no yetimi ateso afiri ho it tells you say was strengthening amanfo e ma senka one strengthener enka sa 900 million e bi so a enka bi so asan akosoro aba be ka ho so it tell a clear indication ehu aba be sha amanfo no say the yeka da bia no enya abofo ne ne wonum ye adwuma nipa da sane ne enum ye adwuma enti eye den a echema bi beto baabi na me nua panyin ka say or the court judges ne de no so no ka about say you being a first year law student crampo no they tell you to there's a concept or there's a clear chapter or whatever that tells you say you need to be a buyer need to be very careful. I agree with him, but if you apply that with the law judges and more auction sales now, it doesn't work. Why am I saying so? Very well. Many sure judges no one omumbi a auctioneer. Auctioneers no emra ebo wonom ho ban. 2 yina all can it applies a sebio mum fi hanom say multimedia baby at TCCA. Mon ton banche. You deliver services to people. Mon ton banche. Na say yeti he na say hu say obi de banche kikiri go bottom no de aba. Na say ya yeti he obi to ana say multimedia staff obi to a. Emra no eno na me nua panyini kan I will understand because you the buyer na wo to star banche no. Aha na o de abesi so ton banche. We nim say yen ton banche wo ha.
Okay.
Na wo be to star banche no. Ana say wo say kwabena ne de TV si ne kon ho na o de nam kwan ho na say wo hia no. Obo ma on air phone no wato a na say ye che na wo yetimi chew. But here is the case. Auctioneer na auction here and on so kotoye. Se me ameti hey if I had opportunity say come so betimi akwa koto an come so metobi. What you say? We auctioneer and the auction no motoye. And yes some no ko gina auctioneer no say hey auction for my dabi and I say
for right processes mu na abedu say wato a through auction na. The enti na was say auditor general report indicate say a process no company so mo reverse.
Very well, that's fine. Or say process no. Menya sure say judges no. Judges in a orchestrated process.
But as a judge na wafa process mu a enye fair, enye the right process a procure dia.
What don't think say enye fa na enye fair no. Enye fa na enye fair no. Sika no tua na enye at the required amount ana. Okotua Ghana Revenue Authority no enye fair na na. Was just were they supposed to pay at Ministry of Finance? Ana these are some of the questions that we need to ask.
If you Auditor General recommend say you go back to the process no. Not just say BB there's something
process somewhere because it's as a long of chain.
Yes, it's
process a hand.
Until we go back ko chishemu a na bia this report is Auditor General na betu so na man ye be hu no.
One say Auditor General so it otimi specific.
Okay.
Say a bia ka ye ton ma no. Na duty entua duty wo so. Car no duty na be 100,000 by a ton car now 300,000. So Auditor General was expecting say you tria sika be cover duty no na kakra na be toso na ba be state in there because the car is used. Okay. See you turn a brand new entry duty e bia na ya bind the entry duty na say auction ma wa wo ba be fa ni say wo nya ban we individual. So therefore we need to get the revenue na nka say abinding nya free individual. Sir.
Sana the auction amount no so betia.
That is one thing na A bia na ofri say amba. A bia. What you say? Now A B so declaration na ye bo edi yi car na ma auditor edi yi car na ma buying na judges no ya auction amba mo no. A bia the regime I dey board declaration no enye papa.
Okay.
A B so said the AK say say SCC and value and pass it through SCC. Me not sure say SCC nkwa value as my way mo. What you say? I stand to be corrected. Say A, B and pass it all through those appropriate courtesies in there. That is fine. And okasa, but the fact is say auctioneer auction car e dey ma judge na atono. Sabi, want to mean kase e wrong.
Mate Bernard, mame nye inkrato na wosen mame nkomra na wa respond to Nedie no. Adom TV na wo hye no Asempa 94.7 utie yen e wo ho. Na wo twi dwumadie ene ye de bro medin e de abena poko a ahwennie ye twa ye homra sisia. Mame mo akwa babiem na me na ase esoguso eka me ho ewo na watwi dwumadie so ye mo ye nkobo ni telltale san se bebre na ka ho no me wose ye de ma ho ansa na ya sore wo se mame mra ho be na de kasa na person respond to
mame and corrected some few things be the edikai the mazima me mention in law no it is a general mazim. It's not limited to obia onam kwan ho to ade
No, I
and
just...
be on nam kwan ho nton ade.
No,
It's a general maxim as long as trade transaction agreement is concerned. Indeed, so all kwakoto shares crowd a company be crampua. The all kwakoto, as long as there's an agreement, there's a burden on you, our pay shares in that company, to do a due diligence of that company. Are you getting it? It does not exempt whether engineer is part or engineers are not part. In any case, which people even interpret the laws that governs engineering activities? Isn't it the judiciary? Are you getting it? Now I'm talking about, so that one is there. The second thing, I can say, Ghana is speedily losing the fight against corruption. Let me give you empirical record. Let me show me phone so send come a soft copy. We have a report, Crusaders Against Corruption, which identifies the number of anti-corruption policies this government said they were going to do or implement. Okay. In fact, this I'll protect the public personally. And those were rhetorics. Those were not part of the kind of saying. It wasn't part of the manifesto. It's nowhere in your manifesto. Manifesto, no, it had 17 clear anti-corruption policies. 17. Unfortunately, because I don't have it here, no, we won't go through it. But among the 17, it's only one that this government has fulfilled, right from 2016 to 2022. Just count the number of years, or 2017 to 2022. Baku part of the 17, and that is the establishment of the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Okay. Aside that, 16, none has been implemented. And if we are talking about commitment to the fight... then but I just told you, sir, look, and we don't want to go over the circumstances that rush me here. I would have come with that document.
You are saying 17, and they were able to establish only one.
Which is the office of the...
So tell her the 16.
But as someone you didn't get what I said. No. Say, I don't have the document here.
So therefore, you don't talk about it because...
What do you mean I don't talk about it? No, please. Buy a NDC MPP thing here, please.
But you are claiming,
it's not about claiming. This is a public notice. Don't you have your manifesto?
You are claiming.
No, it's a public document. Don't you have your manifesto? Unless you haven't gone through your manifesto.
No, you are claiming.
It's not about claiming. I'm referring... I gave a source. Me say this. Your manifesto.
And you've been able to mention one.
Oh, please. Please. Don't. The second thing that suggests clearly said under this government, we've lost the fight against corruption. The rhetorics of make here, I'll protect the public purse and all those things. I'll use the ANAS principle, even giving a warning, say, if you want to amass wealth, don't come into my government, go into a private sector. Those were all rhetorics. They weren't in the document. Look, one typical example of corruption, nepotism. It's an example of corruption. In this Fourth Republic, it is established, said the most corrupt government in terms of nepotism is this government.
But is this government the first government or practice nepotism?
Listen, I said the most. I added.
Do we have
when I said most, I am making reference to. I'm making reference to the quantum,
so the
number. What I am saying is, so what? You see, the points I am making, you are not getting. You don't have the list of nepotistic appointments in this government. You don't have it. So of course, this is the list. You compare the list.
Assessment.
Of course, comparing it to previous appointments or previous governments. That is what we do. It is comparison. But that is not even the point. The point is that, you see, he who comes to equity must come with a clean hand. When you establish a government and the foundation is an example of corruption, it becomes difficult for you to be bold to say you are fighting corruption. It would be a fantastic question when we went into a kind of saying break. Why is it that 2018, it came down, the figures came down? Even 2019, reasonably, it was down, even though it was a little above 2018. And then right from 2019, issue 2 years skyrocketed, and we've lost it looks like we've lost the control over it. 12.8, 17.4, and I'm saying, say, 2022 will even be worse than this if all things remains the same. And can't it be, among other things, can't it be, say, it is because the leader who in 2018, 2019, created that environment, say he's in to really protect the public purse and to fight corruption. He lost it or he relaxed at a point. Into appointees and other institutions and the rest, they also had a field day.
Okay,
can that be a principle, a reason on that? But having said that, also we have just some few minutes, meaning whether I should go into the solutions, because that is what we are interested in as Crusaders.
2 minutes, ma'am, solutions.
No problem. Now, in any jurisdiction, if you want to fight corruption, when you have a centralized power in any jurisdiction, it's difficult to fight corruption. The first thing I say, in fighting corruption is to decentralize power. Okay? Now, the 1992 constitution that we have, it is the bedrock of corruption that produces corruption in this country. And that is why over the past, His Excellency Kufuor's time, all the way, Obiaba, corruption is an issue. To the extent that Kufuor at a point made a comment say corruption is as old as Adam and all that. At Mills, Rollins, Obiaba, there's an issue. Okay. It is the fundamental which has to do with the 92 constitution. The powers that has been given or entrusted in the hands of one arm of government, being the executive. Okay. Too much. Look, we are talking about anti-corruption institutions. Who appoints special prosecutor? Who appoints attorney generals and minister of justice? Who appoints IOCO's boss? Who appoints CID's boss? And all that. They are all appointed from one arm of government. They owe allegiance to that. We were talking, my brother was talking about Asenso the other day. It wasn't just Asenso. In fact, there was a petition against two people, Asenso and then the other colleague, Abu. The one who petitioned, one gentleman called A+. Then the CID department, which is an example of anti-corruption institution in this country, was headed by Madam Tiwa. Audio came up, which could not be denied, where Madam Tiwa, who was heading it, the investigation, was telling the petitioner or the complainant, say, case we cry, case, because if we pursue it, it will dent the image of the nation. The problem is that,
not to say more suggest an amendment.
Strongly, we should go back to the 1992. Fortunately, 2011, there was an initiation by the late Atta Mills. We came out with a constitutional review commission. Reports. Why is it that from 2011 I submitted our reports and we've had two governments? The former president.
We came out, were you part of it?
Oh, no, Ghana as a general. I mean, when it came out, we've had two different governments. Fortunately, the first government are taking over from Atta Mills. Onwani party. Why is it that they didn't make mention of it or go back to it? We've had an entirely new government. 6 years on. Why is it that the government is not going back to that? It is just because the typical politician doesn't want powers or enjoying to be taken away. Okay. And that is the problem. The second thing, maybe just the second thing, there are about two or three. But the second thing is that, look, in as much as you say we should go back to the Constitutional Review Commission's report, now you review your constitution. What we should do is say, create an environment so that as much as practicable, the anti-corruption institutions in Ghana, they will do their work independent of being influenced by any hand.
1 minute.
1 minute. Where need to? Said you can,
okay, producer said 2 minutes.
Said you can in MPP. Yeah, say you will protect the public purse. It doesn't mean say any abofo na eba be adwuma, any nipa na eba adwuma. Yeah, launch a campaign and it cut across. If you see something, say something. What you say, and yeah, for the security aspect of it. If you see something, say something. Inti ye boa ye nyina ye ho ne be to trust Ghana for say. Sabi men tena ho nkasa Auditor General nko. Sabi men nkasa president nko. Men nkasa minister nko.
But I see something say sound say a risky pa.
Very risky, but
and ya obi akokun obi na obi okobo amane watete na akokun police phone to me anche na na akokun de okobo amane no
sa edin na omo bobo no de mo mfa ntonche because on bo din na no omo de fa ba bi enye
edin de ya
yenko yanim so what I say enti e betoto ahre say
okay
Ghana e ba akope omo yemboa na nado danko Akufo-Addo one Dr. Mahmoud ba omia kakra wo betimi aye it borders on national security. And the security is a shared responsibility. And you better trust me ba. Me wado phobia so a sabio. You know about maybe Lampong or Takrade, Gasam estate. And no odini birthday. Me know ohwe mo pa chi yembo yendanase.
me da say
na ye wo obaya rules so ono so ajenga no he ya
oh okay na wa cheche busuan nyina
and I am your birthday so let me just wish her happy birthday
that's all and you be wish
that's all
yeah wish
me ko feda
oh so boni din na
mama wish
me boni din
so mama wish mom the special one in the life of this special gentleman here, Mr. Wilson, who is fighting corruption on behalf of you, myself, and Mrs. Wilson. We sit here on this great platform and then we say a very big happy birthday to you. And then Mr. Wilson is leaving the premises of Multimedia Home. Please, with all due respect, monitor him as soon as he gets home. Please, you do the needful. Happy birthday, Mrs. Wilson.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Sachi, video about Sally. And now, your baby girl, no. Aha, that's it. You know, see what ha. It me just so. And I've been out for I hear near. And I'll pay what's in your Bernard or Dronia con.
Ebimu ya bumio. Ose me ko bana. No baby, I'm no mataya.
Chia, I tell you, there's fight.
Wallahi. And to donor.
Okay.
And in the bush of phone. Wallahi. But
I say my own so Crusaders Against Corruption ever come and say if you are paying na ko East Legon the former chief of staff Julius Debra ni nua bema Cambodia eye ne ho na ekoso etikan ho KPN nyina ye kokwakudu masa ne abusua ni nyina ekosia mu ho ya da wase ama moni hye enitie anopai